Hi, I wanted to introduce myself and welcome you to my Capstone 490 project. My project that I chose to do was strategic fundraising for Overland Outreach. Overland Outreach's project objective was to raise money for a nonprofit that is helping veterans with PTSD. My challenge was to set up 4 fundraising quarterly events that would be able to produce revenue so that this nonprofit could get off the ground and start helping veterans that are struggling with PTSD. Now, my challenge was that I had never done this before. And so I really feel like I had challenged myself in the area of trying to use my leadership skills that I had learned in class about being transformative and being authentic. I was very encouraged to step out of my comfort zone and try to transform this vision that my brother had and figure out a way to be able to network and produce this amazing strategic launch. Basically, we needed to create resources to be able to help Overland Outreach so that they can help families and veterans that are dealing with PTSD and help build back connections with each other. My project overview and results is what I did was I set up quarterly events, which will start in February of 2020. That will be the launch of the nonprofit. Following that, we have scheduled a golf tournament in the spring, a barbecue in the summer, and in fall, we have a fun run set up. I was able to stretch myself by connecting local vendors and creating a event planning to be able to help with this nonprofit. Leading into my PLOs, I wanted to share my first PLO was number 1 is articulate. What I was able to do was I was able to articulate my core values of integrity, honesty, and hard work into being able to have a purpose in this world within myself. I found that I was able to do this because I believe in Overland Outreach. I believe in their mission and I believe in their purpose. And so I feel that I was able to articulate these core values with the different vendors and the different community members that I was meeting with to try to set up these events. Number 2 is self-awareness. I was able through this process to reflect on my strengths, which is I am very much a people person and I'm very outgoing. So that was very easy for me to make contacts and talk to people and to be able just to connect with them. My area for improvement as a leader during this project, I found it's very hard for me to ask people if they want to donate money or if they'd like to donate their venue. When it came to talk about money or how much things would cost and pricing, that is definite weakness of mine. And I really have to improve on that if I'm going to make this nonprofit really go big. Number 3 was diversity. My ability to mobilize my unique contributions that I have with the people that are on the board of the nonprofit were really awesome. I realized that I was working with veterans that have served in our community and served our country, but also working with higher educated people that are running different organizations and bringing these two together with myself at times feeling like an imposter because I am an older non-traditional student and I was sharing with them that this was my capstone project. This was a neat time for me to realize everyone's unique ability to connect. I really used my experience cube in this from Dr. Heidi Reeder's class. And as I was going into these meetings, I would really try to reflect back to what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I'm wanting, and what my thoughts were. And the Experience Cube has been transformational in this particular area of my PLO, basically number 2 and 3, is able to improve and able to realize what my experience is and staying in the here and now. Number 4 is my online contribution and my communication. I'm really able to communicate effectively talking, but I kind of struggle when it comes to technology and being able to pull together a PowerPoint and talk like I'm doing now. This class and this capstone project has stretched my ability to do this, and I really feel that with my leadership values of making sure that I had a sense and a purpose in the world and being a good leader is I learned how to use screencast-o-matic. I was able to set up a Facebook page and tie into it the Eventbrite ticket sales, and as well as set up a Gmail that was linked to all of it and set all the board of directors on the same Gmail. And not being a tech savvy person, this was definitely a stretch goal for me, but I was able to get it done. And I am really pleased with the outcomes. Lastly, my PLO that I would believe I would be able to relate to this project was problem solving. And being able to identify the problems in this plan that I had were really key. I was working in another class with this, and the problems that we were going to have was finding the venues that had availability, especially for the golf tournament, because a lot of them were booked, but also being able to see these problems and brainstorm with the people on my team, which were the board of directors and my brother, to be able to find solutions. I was able to do this by utilizing basically my outward mindset teachings from Lee 326 about looking at people as people instead of objects. I think it's really easy when you're trying to problem solve for a nonprofit to look at people as vehicles. Like, I need to get these donors, I need to be here, I need money, and you can really lose your perspective and the whole entire vision and purpose of this organization. So stepping into that, I really feel that my outward mindset of looking at people as people with a purpose and realizing how I can connect with them and using my conflict management skills of reflective listening that I learned in people skills with that book was when talking with others, I would share my vision, but then I kind of listened. I would ask open-ended questions. I would reflect, repeat, and rephrase back to them what they had said to me so that I understood what their mission and their desire was, and then how we could take that and come to a solution. I also found out that it was really easy for me to feel like a failure if I wasn't able to get my goals done that I wanted to get done. I really wanted to get this nonprofit launched. I wanted to get it off the ground, and I wanted to be able to make it happen. And it was very kind of personal for me because I'm such a passionate person. And so I did have a couple hiccups in just meetings with people and trying to make sure that I was able to present the nonprofit in a way that would be beneficial to the stakeholders. I believe that my successes in this came from this last class I was taking in Northhouse's leadership, and just really being authentic and being transformative. And with the skills that I learned in that class really helped me be able to succeed, which takes me to my next slide. A quote I really loved from the 5 Dysfunction of a Team, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that Dr. Reader shared was, you are what you constantly do, which makes excellence not an act, but a habit. And so this reminded me of the Slight Edge that Dr. Reader had us read. And so the Slight Edge was amazing. It's doing the small things over and over again. And so I feel that my ability to be able to call people and ask them if they're willing to set up an appointment, if they'd like to give us some time to talk with them, was pretty awesome, because I kept constantly moving forward and not allowing fear of failure or fear of them saying no to stop me from asking. So going back to the outward mindset, it says, I quote, "Mindset drives and shapes all that we do, how we engage with others, and how we behave in every moment in every situation." And I really have been transformed from this leadership certificate program. I feel that this was one of the most beneficial classes, all of them, the lead program that I've taken in my college career, because it really helped you challenge yourself in your mindset. You had to know your core values. You had to know what you were doing and have these goals and be willing to fail and get back up again and set these goals higher than what you originally have. Arbiter's pyramid of influence is really amazing in this project, because I really had to get out of my box. I had to change my mindset and think about what veterans would feel and what the community would feel and how I could bring them both together. I really focused on how in these events we could really build relationship and connection so that we could build the passion and get other people on the vision and mission for this nonprofit. With that, I utilized my reflective listening and learning, and then I took all of that and came back to my stakeholders and I communicated with them what I had learned. And now we have connected all of this to our beginning of our launch, the Facebook page, and the starting of this amazing nonprofit. In conclusion, I was reflecting back on one of the professors, Dr. Graves, had shared. He would always ask this in class: are leaders made or born? Is it skills or traits? And so I really believe it's both. I believe you can be born with the traits to be a good leader and get things done. But if you don't have the skills and the ability and the drive, then your traits are just going to be, you're a gifted person, you do nothing with them. It's the same thing with skills. Someone can teach you the skills to be an amazing leader, to be a good pilot, to go rock climbing. But if you don't have the ability to have the traits that's needed to get that job done and be a leader, you're just going to have the skills. So I believe that leaders are made and they're born. It's our skills and our traits together that use and utilize our mindset, our values, who we are, and where we want to go. And now what? At the end of this capstone project, I had to reflect back and ask myself, in coming to graduation, now what? Well, now I really believe and feel that I am on the way to continuing to learn how to be the best leader I can be. I have been changed by these leadership classes. It has been life-changing to me. The books and all the readings, it's too many to list, have been transformational. And with that said, my goal now is to get my master's at Boise State so that I can come back and teach some of the leadership classes, because they have been that impactful to me. I want to share that passion and impact with the other students and the other soon-to-be leaders that want to come onto this program. So thank you so much for taking the time to let me share with you how my life has been changed by this project and by all of the leadership principles and the PLOs that I have learned throughout this course. And I wish you all the best, and thank you again. And my reference page is at the end. And take care.